Chair Clayton, thank you for your service and best of luck as you move forward. Last time you were here, we discussed how foreign actors could evade the beneficial ownership disclosure requirement under Section 13D and the negative effects that could have on publicly traded companies, particularly in the media and technology sectors, their investors, and the U.S. national security overall. Given the ongoing pandemic, the ensuing economic crisis, we need to continue to be vigilant against any malign foreign actor that could be looking for an opportunity to purchase a significant stake of a distressed company without filing the requisite disclosures. So has the SEC made any improvements to your 13D oversight since we discussed this last year? And have you identified any statutory impediments that prevent the agency from sufficiently monitoring or enforcing potential 13D violations?
So, Senator, I agree with you, and I think our friends at the Treasury would agree with you that understanding the beneficial ownership and whether there's any evasion of 13D is very important. We did take a recent measure that I want to highlight for you. We just put out what I would call guidance, but you can also call it good hygiene at brokerage accounts, foreign omnibus accounts that mix ownership of different parties outside the U.S. and then trade through a single pipe into the U.S. I believe that they have been used to mask ownership. And we need to ensure that the U.S. broker dealers, particularly, and this guidance comes out in the area of thinly traded and low price securities, are doing the appropriate diligence on those foreign omnibus accounts. So what I can do is assure you that we are focused on this area, and we're not just studying it, we're doing things about it.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm particularly concerned about media and technology companies that are responsible for delivering unbiased and objective reporting of current events to the American public. And in these times, they play a special role in disseminating critical public health information so we can get the pandemic under control. I hope that your successor and the rest of the members will continue to prioritize this. I have seen elements of foreign entities purchasing and having significant controlling interests. And, in and of itself, that's not a terrible thing, but understanding the nature of it and having the disclosure so we know who's affecting these public information channels, I think is incredibly important. Let me turn to another topic. Studies have consistently found that greater diversity on executive teams have led to greater profitability and therefore better outcomes for shareholders. McKinsey's most recent diversity report found that companies with more gender diversity on their executive teams were 25% more likely to have a above average profitability than companies with non-diverse teams. That same report found that companies with that were the most ethnically diverse executive teams are 33% more likely to outperform their peers on profitability. So do you agree with these statistics that find companies with more diverse executive teams as more profitable?
Well, I've looked at that report, and let me just say what we do here at the SEC. We do believe and have acted on diversity and inclusion not only as the right thing, but as value enhancing. And I've seen firsthand as we've increased inclusion here, that it's led to better performance.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'd like us to go beyond that. I think that in a marketplace, forgetting about doing the right thing, that simply in a marketplace where you have $1 trillion plus dollars of domestic spending in the Hispanic community, for example, younger by a decade than the rest of the American population, more brand loyal than any other group, and spends more of our disposable income. As a business proposition, I'd like to be on them like white on rice. Understanding, however, the nature of the community, having senior people on corporate boards and senior executive management, good for the bottom line. And my final question, Section 956 of Dodd-Frank requires the OCC, the Federal Reserve, FDIC, NCUA, and FHFA, and the SEC to jointly propose an executive compensation rule to prohibit unsafe and unsound compensation plans. During your time as the SEC chair, have all 6 regulators sat down together to discuss this rulemaking?
Yes, we have. Well, if you consider conference calls sitting down together, yes, we have.
Okay, and what did these discussions ultimately lead to? Have you decided to move forward with the proposed rule?
Well, what I could say is we were at advanced stages on, I'll say it this way, kind of corporate speak. We were advanced term sheet stages. But bandwidth has been constrained in some areas by, and it's particularly that kind of coordination bandwidth is constrained by the events of the day.
Yeah. Well, I would just say that it seems that sometimes the bandwidth on things we don't really want to deal with seems the most constraining. But thank you, and good luck in your future.
Thank you.